Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, with our second topic today in the breakfast show. Today we are going to talk about the tourism sector in Egypt. And actually, a German site have invited all tourists around the world to visit Egypt, as it's one of the very important destinations. And this site is called Finance Nachrichten. It's a German site. We are going to shed more light on this invitation, as it's boosting for tourism in Egypt, with our dear guest, Mr. Yehya Abdul, Qader Tourism Councillor. Good morning, sir.
Good morning, Mr. Mel. How are you?
How are you, sir? Well, Mr. Dr. Abdul Qader, now what's the importance of a German site which is called the Finance Nachrichten that is inviting tourists around the world to visit Egypt? What's the importance of this, please? And could you give us an idea about this site in Germany?
Well, really, Finance Nachrichten is one of the leading German world media for economy and for investment, for promotion and for travel, for German, and it is a worldwide, international, famous, reputable site as well. So throughout, its release yesterday, it was motivating, world, viewers and audiences to spend their winter vacations in Egypt due to the severe and harsh winter, currently prevailing nearly worldwide. They are recommended to fly to Luxor, Aswan, Abu Simbel, and Red Sea resorts, and our beautiful, destinations at Marsa Alam, Hagara, Sharm el-Sheikh, as well, because of the fair weather it enjoys. So it was like an advice for its viewer and audiences to take advantage of this fair weather and this hospitable country to spend, their vacations and run away from their cold, domicile and destinations at home.
Yes, so Dr. Abdul Qader, also how do you see the importance of this invitation in playing a big role in boosting tourism to Egypt, and especially that Egypt has a large number of German tourists. They flow with large numbers to Egypt, especially in the winter time.
Definitely, yeah. We have, German visitors by the millions. Some of them, they even settle down in Hagara and Ghana and Marsa Alam. They like to make Egypt the permanent destination, especially the senior citizens. And as well as, other world media hubs, TripAdvisor, National Geographic, The Sun, The Telegraph, they all recommend for their audiences, viewers, and subscribers to spend the winter holidays in Egypt due to the attractions it have, the culture, the other, destinations that you can visit at the Red Sea Resort, which stretches over hundreds of kilometers, as well as the Seaway, which is one of the favorite destinations for them, and eco tourists, from Germany and from Europe as well. So it is a good time for them to escape the chilly winter, in Europe and worldwide, and come to have, warm, vacations and spend, happy destinations for 10 days or for 2 weeks as well.
Yes, so Dr. Abdul Qader, what are the most important places that the German tourists visit in Egypt, and what are the cities that they visit? Is it places like Sharm el-Sheikh, like Hurghada, or they prefer to visit the monuments in Luxor and Aswan and Giza pyramids and Sphinx, for example?
Well, really, German visitors and tourists, they are very cultured, they are very aware, and they are very knowledgeable, and they cherish so much, and, respect and esteem Egyptians' archaeology, artifacts, civilization, and heritage. So they love, to go to the cultural, location and take cruises up the Nile from Minya up all the way to Abydos, Luxor, Aswan, and Abu Simbel as well. This is in the winter time, and they love, events, taking the balloons and the diving, and large number of the German visitors, they love adventure tours, going to the remote areas and safari, and in the summer, large number of them, love the Red Sea Resort, So really, we have a good portion of German travelers, and it is one of the richest visitors as well. Like they spend by like over like 20 billion euro, like per year, like on international travel. So
Yes.
it's a great segment for Egyptian travel to capitalize on and welcome them year-round as we are doing as well.
Yes, Dr. Abdul Qader, the German site Finance Nachrichten is not the only site that have invited tourists around the world to visit Egypt. It happened a year ago also. Through the past year, several sites around the world are inviting tourists to come to Egypt, and they chose Egypt, for example, in the 4th place, in the 15th place, in the 11th place. They put a level for Egypt, for tourists to come to Egypt, and there was an American site in the USA which invited tourists to come to Egypt, and especially to Hurghada, which was put in the 9th or 11th place, and also to visit Sharm el-Sheikh and other places in Egypt. So how do you see the importance of the international sites who are taking in consideration the importance of Egypt as the first civilization that its sun have been shining on the whole world?
Well, really, this is quite true because, like TripAdvisor is like one of the formal, sites that really, like locates, like and promotes travel destinations worldwide. So it ranks, like sometimes Cairo, like Luxor, Sharm el-Sheikh and Hurghada as like one of the must-see, like one of the top location destinations you need to visit worldwide. And then we have the specialized one, which is culture and heritage, which is like National Geographic. They made like special, issues and special editions for Egyptian coverage. We have the British one, we have the Sun, the Telegraph, we have the French media, and the Belgian one, and the Italian. So really media worldwide. And remember, currently we've been having festivals and events in Egypt on a weekly basis. Like we had the Cairo Art at the Grand Egyptian Museum. That was a successful event. We have the Fustat Museum for Civilization that has another art exhibit as well last week. And then we have the fashion shows at Hatshepsut, and we have concert at Karnak. So all this attracts, visitors who love culture, art, and enjoy, la joie de vivre. So all this is accounting for Egypt and make it an attractive location and destination worldwide.
Yes, so Dr. Abdul Qader, we have seen recently that in the governorate of Aswan and Luxor, there are developmental work, and especially on the River Nile there, and there is the state is giving very good care, especially Luxor and Aswan, of course, to governorates that are full of monuments in Egypt. Give us an idea about the importance of the renovation work that took place there and developmental work that took place there.
Yeah, you remember like a year ago, we had, like the Rams Avenue, like celebrations between the Karnak and Luxor Temple, and that was a great event. And it took many years, like to do the restoration process. And especially, like we have Egyptian and international expeditions that go in the Valley of the Kings, and they discover new artifacts and tombs and mummies, and, which is very, like attractive to culture, heritage, civilization, archaeological missions worldwide. So Luxor and Aswan and Abu Simbel, like nearly, like all of Egypt, we hear from time to time, like Western of Alexandria, in Sharqiya, in Daqaliya, in the Saqqara necropolis. Last week we had, like more discoveries as well. So Egypt is rich with its culture and heritage, and that makes it attractive year-round for visitors to come and check on the progress. And shortly, inshallah, we'll be opening the Grand Egyptian Museum that the whole world is anticipating and lining up to come and spend 2-3 days at least, like to go through the whole collection of King Tutankhamun and other, like rare and precious artifacts that we house in this unique location.
Yes, I thank you very much for your time. Thank you for your valuable information, Dr. Yehya Abdul Qader, Tourism Counselor. Thank you very much for joining us over the phone. And with this, my dear viewers, we come to the end of this episode of our program, The Breakfast Show. I was in the company of my colleague, Namir Abdurrahman. My name is Amal Mukhtar. Thank you for watching.